Episode 10. Woohoo! We got nominated for a social media award.
Hello and welcome to the Tactics Board. Before we get into today's look at Tyrone's attack against Dublin's defence this Sunday in the National Football League final, we have two thank yous to send out. First of all, we'd like to thank the guys in the Social Media Awards for considering us worthy of being nominated for Best Video for this series, so thank you very much for that. And also, and you can see where one of these thank yous is, it's to Elevate, who of course we bought the original board from. Elevate were watching our videos and they noticed that we were a bit short on colours, so they sent us along some red and white ones here as a sort of a thank you for all the promotion we're hopefully giving them, because the board, as you can tell, is really great and we love using it. So they sent those along, which of course means we have the right colours for our match. I think that's a cause for a bit of a celebration, because of course that's not a common thing on this series. So without having to explain too much, Tyrone are in the white and red and Dublin are in the blue. So we're going to look at Dublin's defensive system against Tyrone, and we're going to contrast it a bit with the way they defended in 2011 in the All-Ireland quarterfinals, just to show you the significant difference, really. Well, first off, we're going to look at Cluxton here. Now, he's not going to be always off his line, but we're trying to show, really, Stephen Cluxton will come off his line quite a bit to aid the defence. Now, why is that? It's basically so you can keep the lines high. You're going to see the full back line trying to stay 21 out and further out, with the halfbacks pushing out as well, essentially giving them room to press upfield. Now, as you saw in my column yesterday, which I hope you read, but if not, don't worry, Tyrone have a pressing game, so they will look to try and control the ball around this area. They'll bring extra men upfield. But the big thing for them is they don't have a Peter Harte, which is very important, because Sean Kavanagh will like to get forward to attack from midfield to open up shooting opportunities. Now, this creates room for other players like Joe McMahon, but it also makes the three full forwards really, really open, because the defenders have to suddenly decide about how they're going to cover Sean Kavanagh, like which way are they going to come in. So that opens up opportunities for the forwards. Kavanagh won't have that as much because he doesn't have a Peter Harte type player in the link-up role here to draw that extra coverage off him to open it up even more. Kavanagh, long-range scoring threat. The question, of course, is will he even be played in that role? Against Kildare, they had him all the way up here in full forward, essentially, and a very high role. The problem here was Tyrone didn't really have a creator from deep, and when Peter Harte went out injured, well, that was good night for that part of the attack. Tyrone ended up winning because Stephen O'Neill pulled off some really improbable scores. They were well taken scores, but playing the percentages, even when you're as good a striker as O'Neill, more often than not you're not going to make those shots. So why are we looking particularly at the Dublin defence rather than say the Dublin attack? Well, it's because of the way Dublin defended against Tyrone in the last really huge game between these sides, which is back in the summer 2011. That was when Pat Gilroy was still in charge. Of course, Mickey Harte was still in charge of Tyrone. Dublin's defence played very, very deep, really under 13 very much in the full back line. They drew an extra man in. This was effectively to cut down the high ball threat, which they definitely feared from Tyrone. Tyrone's forwards did try and match up with them, going four out, full on. But what we didn't really see from Tyrone was an ability to force something out of separation between the lines here, because the halfbacks did still stay pretty high. They were a little bit further back with an extra supporting man. But by and large, the seven-man defence for Dublin was left to dictate the outcome. Now, again, can Dublin dictate it from defence? Well, if they do, it'll be done in a very different way. So let's just put the players back to where they were originally here. So as you can see, Dublin play high, and they do it with good reason. They want Stephen Cluxton to come out a bit more from his goal in order to reduce the need really for that extra cover defender. Men will come back when attacks break down, but the key to Dublin's defence is pressing, much like Tyrone's game. These halfbacks, and to a degree the fullbacks as well, will try and push forward, essentially to keep the possession in the opposing half. So Tyrone, well, a very good pressing team, are very different to Dublin. I'll go into detail why in a more later column, but essentially it's to do with pace. Tyrone, while not exactly a slow team, do try and dictate the pace and try and mix the tempo up. Dublin very much try and keep it quick along the lines, really passing and moving quite quickly. Both have their ups and downs, and both to me are the best situations for each of their teams, which is why we're going to get into a column rather than deal with it in a video like we are now. But just for now, looking at this, the key for Tyrone will be finding a way without Peter Harte to open opportunities up for Sean Kavanagh to really open up the full forward line. If Kavanagh can get those opportunities, Dublin's full-backs are going to be in a bit of a problem, because Cluxton will have to drop back, the defence will have to stay tighter, and some of the opportunities for the halfbacks to break out won't be there as much. That could make this competitive. I'm not sure it's going to happen without Peter Harte there. And that's all we have for this video. As always, click on my face to subscribe, Follow me on Twitter at Action81, and we look forward to all your comments.